Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Two Guys, Two Beers podcast. I'm your host today, Phantom, and with my co-host today,
Max, you.
How are you doing today, Max?
Doing good. Can't complain.
How was your weekend?
Boring. Didn't really do anything exciting. It was raining, and the weather wasn't all that great to be out doing too much.
Oh, sucks to be you.
Yeah, it does. How was your weekend?
I can't complain. Went to Atlanta, a 4-hour drive. Figure out that, life is so much fun in Atlanta. Then you come back and then you figure out 3 of your check engine lights came on. So now you have to figure that out. So with great fun comes great pain and pretty much great money that's going to cost to fix my car.
That it could be. Let's hope it's not your transmission.
Stop bringing that up.
You know you love me. It's okay.
I hate you with the passion. All right, Max. So let's talk about how pretty much Hong Kong is about to become back communist.
Yeah, completely. Actually, for that matter. Basically, so originally, whenever it was over the past couple of years, they were allowed to have officials that were basically that they elected themselves, etc., like the U.S. And a lot of them have real democratic views. So, they want certain things, and it's not about communism. So there were still leaders that are in effect before China took them back over.
Yeah.
Completely, and started enforcing all these rules to where, like I said before, if you sing whatever the fucking Chinese national anthem, sorry, no offense to China.
We will never go there because of Max.
But if you say their national anthem or whatever the hell it is, something like that, if you sing
Just
it
keep
wrong.
going better. Just keep going better. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, but if you
sing the national anthem of China incorrectly.
Yeah, they'll put you in jail. And you have to pay a huge fine. And that's actually a lot. A lot. So, that's crazy. But yeah, so basically, if you're any of those leaders are now China made a new rule at their courts or something or whatever the hell they have, to where if you're not part of, or if you basically don't agree with them, they can boot you out with no reason.
Yeah. Pretty much expel for whatever reason. Pretty much just say if you, pretty much.
So, because Phantom is a Democrat, they would remove him from office. Because they don't want him talking shit.
First off, I'm independent more than Democrat. Second off, because Max is a Republican, well-known Republican, this will fit in with him greatly. But pretty much, the Belgian government passed a resolution allowing the Hong Kong authority to expel local election lawmakers without having to go through the clerks. So pretty much 4 of the pro-democracy lawmakers were kicked out of the city legislation Wednesday. And pretty much Wednesday, Hong Kong government gave the power to unseat local elected lawmakers if failing to upload basic laws of Hong Kong, which pretty much mean if you pretty much basic laws is pretty much promoting Hong Kong independence or trying to get foreign interference to help with Hong Kong independence. But basic law came from the 1997 when British handed over China. Well, British handed Hong Kong back to China, which is crazy. I didn't know this happened in 1997. And pretty much due to this, it gave Hong Kong 30 years of freedom of speech, freedom of press, and freedom to assemble for 50 years. Well, guess what?
Those years are up.
Well, it's not. They didn't even let you don't do 50 years. They pretty much did like 30, and they were like, all right, y'all have fun with that. Of course, countries like Australia, Canada, U.S., and U.K. opposed the national law that just got put in place. But this also could explain why Australia. You remember how the other podcast, how Australia lost her for $1.5 million was left sitting in the ocean. That's probably why Australia is trying to probably why China is raising the price for everything for Australia, because it's like, oh, you don't want to side with us? Oh, okay. Which is kind of like putting Australia in a rock and a hard spot, because I understand Australia trying to do common sense humans, and this is what they want. But then if you somebody trade partner, it's kind of like, hey, if you want to trade with me, you better shut up or you ain't gonna, we gonna find out.
Yeah, I actually seen a really good article. I don't remember who it was with. I was reading it, and the journalist had actually brought up a really good point. So basically, what he said is, you know how a lot of governments buy shit elsewhere because it's cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of economies are starting to fail because of all the shutdowns and lockdowns and whatever else you want to call it. Well, they said, rather than these countries buying shit or outsourcing, they need to insource. They need to get from their own country before they actually go out. And if they can't acquire it in their own country, then they can go out.
Well, I've been saying that we need to get better infrastructure and get more warehouse jobs back here instead of sending.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that, but like even the U.S. government buys shit from overseas. Why can't they buy it in the U.S.? There's a lot of manufacturing companies in the U.S.
And we could actually get our oil from Alaska.
I mean, we can get a lot of oil from Texas, too.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the good things of Trump is actually that a lot of our oil is actually staying in our country, even though the gas prices don't reflect it, which is bullshit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
that shit pisses me off. Like, whenever they're like, oh, the oil barrel prices are the lowest they've ever been. And I was like, but why the fuck is my gas still $2?
Pretty much. I remember when they said the oil barrel price was $0, which didn't make sense in my head, but hey, what do I know? And then literally the gas went down for like 5 cents, and then it went back up to 20 cents. I'm like, what the heck? What?
That's because they raised taxes, and they just don't know it.
Yeah, well, screw us, but I don't want to become like China and pretty much become a communist state where if China's pretty much communist, if anybody haven't noticed that. So pretty much whatever China say, this is how you feel, this is how you should do, and this is what you're going to do. And pretty much China is like Hong Kong, due to the British, had the power to do freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and freedom of press. So they was pretty much living the American dream. Freedom to do whatever the hell they want. And then China was like, we don't like that much. Let's stop that.
No, of course not, because, I mean, Hong Kong actually has a really big economic impact towards China once they would actually really take it over. So, I mean, there's a good amount of money that they could actually get from Hong Kong is the thing. That's one of the reasons why they want Thailand back. Is because, like I said, Thailand is actually the one that released a lot of the masks all over the world. They were the ones that manufactured them, not China.
And Thailand deal with a lot of technology. If a lot of people don't know that.
Well, that's the thing. They're trying to basically take over any place they can to get more money because, I mean, let's face it, it's China. I mean, they don't have that much money. I mean, they still do hand mining. Hand mining.
I about to say China is still back in 1950s with a lot of their technology and stuff. Wise.
Yep, that's sad.
Well,
the sad thing is that they don't care about their people enough to change it. That's the fucking sad thing. It's not that there's anything wrong with being a little outdated or not necessarily up to the times or having the resources that say for instance America or foreign companies do whenever they're building stuff in other countries, but to not care is the sad thing, because I know a lot of their mining regulations, they basically don't give a fuck about the people in the mines. Like, if it collapses, they don't care.
Well, it's just like with the military thing you said, like, if somebody's family die, their family don't get compensated. You don't even know if like something happened to your family till like pretty much the people who there, you start asking about what happened to your dad, and then pretty much literally, like, I seen one story, like, literally a family went up to the mining thing to look up for 1 month straight, and pretty much it took them 1 month to, like, because it's a collapse.
Yeah.
It took them 1 month to dig up everybody that died, and they literally gave the family just a body. So how can a family survive where, like, pretty much what we're saying, like, pretty much they was already eating bowls of rice, and like due to the dad working there, they was able to like kind of make it. But now since he passed away, now they definitely won't be able to make it. So now she had a choice, like, she may have to put her sons that was like teenagers, like, remember, 10, one was 10 and one was 12, literally had a dilemma to think about putting her only 2 kids to go to the mines just so that they could make money. And China will be okay with kids any age of going to the mine.
A company called Foxconn that makes products for Apple, and they are a company out of China, and they actually had a problem with people committing suicide because of the harsh working conditions and them not really being allowed to leave, because a lot of the companies over there, they actually allow, or you don't, I shouldn't say allow, So basically, like, you get paid so little that they actually basically, you live there. They have apartments and shit they cram everybody into and whatnot like that. And you basically live at your job, go to work, and then you get so many days off where you can actually go back to your family and whatnot like that.
I actually seen a documentary about that. Like, it was like Apple product where pretty much these people only job was to make iPhones. And then literally when a big iPhone, that's why I say if you go to certain countries like this, like literally nobody want the iPhone, because literally when everybody have it, it's literally only cost like $10 to make, and they sell it over there for such a cheap thing because it's made right there. But like literally, like people, like let's say if you was working on iPhone Max for that day, they would literally give you a tracking thing and everything. So let's say if your iPhone come up missing, they pretty much will fire you in, because that's how, you know how like sometimes people like leak information. That's what used to happen. People used to work for it. They just try to steal phones to try to sell it to like Android and other companies to like show what the new iPhone coming out is.
Yeah, I mean that really wasn't my point, but I get where you're going with that. And my point was just, you know, that they work the people so hard and they could care less about them. But like people were legit jumping off the roof and committing suicide. So what the company Foxconn did is they installed nets that extended, I want to say, like 20, 30 feet off the building that could catch you if you decided you were going to commit suicide. And then they literally just pick you up, take you back in, and make you work again. There was like a huge thing.
Oh, that's like a living hell, a circle. Like, pretty much you try to end your life and you just like get caught and you like, and you gotta go back to work. That's like, I would go insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sad part about it. I mean, it really is. You know, I mean, it's just hard to believe that countries like that, and, you know, I mean, and stuff like that, it's allowed to happen. I mean, it even happens in the U.S. government. I mean, there's rules and regulations that they allow, and even companies allow that I've worked for. You know, I mean, and just the shit, like, I've worked in some warehouses, and I've been in trailers in, like, the hot sun, and, you know, the trailers can get, like, 130 degrees, and they don't have fans.
Especially in Georgia, they can get hotter than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, but, like, I know there was one company I worked for, and there was a guy, and whenever it was, like, time to clock out, the manager was like, why didn't this guy clock out? And here come to find out, he was dead in a trailer for, like, the past 4 hours. They had no fucking idea. No idea.
That's ridiculous.
And yet they still didn't really change many of the working conditions. Trailers were still hot as fuck. They didn't have enough lighting and all that. I mean, the manager still didn't make sure that where you were and everything like that, like they were supposed to.
I mean, ain't that a big lawsuit that could happen to that warehouse?
I mean, it is, but you got to prove negligence.
I mean, technically, if you're a manager, you're supposed to walk through and make sure every container, like, I know a lot of warehouses, like, the containers get, like, pretty much it's like teamwork where it's like more than one person inside a container. And literally, they tell you if you not have an extra person inside the container, you don't have to work.
Yeah, well, a lot of places might say that, but a lot of places won't do it. That's the thing, you know, if the work needs done, say, for instance, what if they have a live load and you're the only person there because it's like in between shift changes or something like that, you know, do you really think they're going to wait on somebody else, or do you really think your manager is going to come help you out? Fuck no.
Hell no. Every manager I know is lazy, sack of shit, and they want to do that shit to begin with.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I mean, you know, so I'm not saying that it's just China. It happens all over the world. You know, I mean, there's a lot of underpaid employees and a lot of employees that don't get the benefits and help and, you know, family response time and stuff like that that they need to.
Yeah, it's the one in America that a lot of people don't even talk about, they don't even think about.
What's that?
The prisons. How pretty much prisons is pretty much like legalized slavery again.
Yeah.
Because they pretty much work. Some of them make clothes, some of them do fire. Like we were talking about the other one, some of them get sent to put out fires, and they only make like 10 to 20 cents a day.
Good old California. I mean, I'm sure there's probably other states out there that surround those national forests that do it too, but
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I still think it's crazy. Like, literally, you go to certain, like, some of them is telemarketers. Like, some companies literally pay jails. That's why it's I understand, like, we need jails and prisons, but like this privatized jails, pretty much the jails just use the workers, use the inmates just for workers, pretty much. Cheap labor.
Do you know where a good majority of your license plates are made?
I'll take it jail.
Yep.
Well, I kind of figured that because I've seen it. and mostly every like cartoon and stuff